Hey, what's good, everybody? So this one I wanted to, share a little story. Um, a few times I was invited to like start doing a podcast or whatever, but things didn't work out with a few people. Um, but I was like, I got a lot of stories. I guess that's why people always tell me I'm good at telling these stories, right? But this one was actually something that kind of changed my life, right? Or it was just perfect timing. So that's why, to me, meeting George Lopez was it was kind of like a lifesaver at the moment, right? So real quick to get into it and not make the story too long. I had left this job of about 9 years, right? And so I had gone back to school just to finish like my associates and this and that, and because I was close. And then so they gave me up to about a year to go back to the job. They kind of did the whole well, I'll get into that, right? So anyways, one day, one of my friends that I had met at school, we had become pretty good friends at that point. He did stand-up comedy. I mean, I say did because I think right now, just because of the whole everything pandemic, this and that, it kind of changed everything. So I don't think he's done it for a while now, but he did stand-up comedy. So he was doing a show, and so I went to show him support. I even took a friend of mine, just because I did music forever, so I know what it means to have people come support you. So I was like, yeah, I'll go. So I go with one of my friends. So anyways, we're there at the show, and my friend does his set, and then after there's the last act was this one guy, I think Brian Callen or Caller. Damn, I want to look it up because I don't want to. I'll put it in the little words, right? Like if I did it right. So it's Callen or Caller, right? Brian Callen or Caller. I'll put it in the thing, right? And so one of the last things he's saying is like, he's like, oh, people don't believe me when I say, I open up for George Lopez, and then George Lopez comes running on stage, right? So we're like, what the hell? Because I wasn't even part of the lineup, but I guess he was about to start a tour or something. So he was trying out some jokes. We were his guinea pigs, right? So it was it was pretty cool. And I'm sitting right in the front, so I was like, I think he even tried to clown on me with something, but I was so happy. I started laughing, and then he kind of just, I think he laughed too, and then he just went on, right? But anyways, so after the show, my friend was there, so I just walk in backstage with my other friend that was with me, and I think some other guy even got kicked out because he tried to go there too, but they didn't tell me anything, and they didn't tell my friend anything. So so what do you call it? We're hanging out, and it's me, like me and 5 comedians and my friend, right? So it was a pretty good time, right? My friend, another guy, George Lopez, that Brian Callen, and then or Caller, and then someone else, I think, and then me and my friend. So yeah, I think it was like 4 or 5 comedians, right? And so, oh yeah. So 5, yeah, me, my friend, and 5 comedians, right? So it was 7 of us total, I believe. So anyways, after they're like, oh, let's go get drinks, whatever, And so we go downstairs, because it was at the second story. We go downstairs, and so it's funny. I'm walking in first, and I'm like, hey, are you guys still open? Because it was already like 10 something. And they're like, oh, sorry, and then they see they see George Lopez walking in behind me, and they're like, yeah, come on in. So I was like, wow. But whatever, right? Like, they let us in. But I was like, wow. Because, when I was asking, they were like, oh, sorry, yeah, come on in. And I was like, you bastards, whatever. So, and then, yeah, so we're chilling. I mean, it was probably just, I think it was like 4 waitresses or something. So right there, they're all happy. And so that's it. It was like a private bar for us, and then the waitresses and all that. And so I hadn't drank like in a couple years, but I was like, damn, it's the first time I ever seen one of those like black credit card things, and so he starts buying like George Lopez. So like, yeah, sure, I started drinking some Guinness and all that stuff, and because that was like my beer of choice. And so anyways, whatever, we get it. I mean, we're there from like 10 in the night to like 2 in the morning, I think. We're there for a long time. So we're just kicking it. He was very open. Like, he ends up sharing a story. I don't know what we were talking about, but he shared like a personal story about like when he was, I'll try not to say anything that he shared with his personal, because I think he said this out in the open before, but it was like he had this warehouse job, and when he decided to leave, and he told them, they kind of almost looked at him like, are you crazy? Like what? And so that he went up to them and he was like, yeah, like, you know, I think he told them straight out he was gonna do comedy. And then they kind of looked at him like, you're nuts, like you're gonna give up your whatever. I don't know if he had benefits or what, but it was like, really, you're gonna leave this? And he was like, yeah. And then he's on, 20 years later, here I am, right? So I was like, wow. And at that point, you know, he didn't know I was about to throw in the towel and go back to this job I had left that I was at for 9 years, that I was miserable at. Like, I can't even explain. You know, everyone was like, oh, it's such a good job, and yeah, I had the best benefits. And even when I left, you know, they told me, are you sure? Like, you're gonna leave your benefits, you're gonna leave this, you're gonna leave that? And I was like, yeah. Like, you know, it was crazy because it was like, I was literally gonna give my 2 weeks notice, and I sat in my car one day, like 30 minutes. I was like, that's it. This is the day I'm leaving. And when I went in, I was like, I'll just do it after my shift. Then a manager had a stroke. So I was like, oh my God. And I felt horrible for him, you know. Luckily he got better, everything. But it was like, I was like, how am I gonna now, after he had the stroke, I'm gonna go in and be like, oh, sorry he had a stroke, I want to give my 2 weeks notice today as well. So I never did. And I waited like another 2 months till finally, like, my performance had gotten down, everything. Like, that's why they were asking me. They're like, dude, like, I never do this for anybody, but you're such a good worker, like, you know. And then they gave me up to a year to go back to work. Up to the day, you know, the 2 weeks, they were asking me am I sure I wanted to leave this job and this and that. And then they gave me up to a year to return. And then so I was about to throw in the towel that night when we met George Lopez, and he said a similar story. And I was like, what the hell? This is exactly what I'm going through right now. And, you know, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna make money? I think I had invested, like, I had put out a music album, but, you know, I mean, I spent the money on that. I didn't really have the money to promote. It was a great album, but so I was like, I kind of did jump in, like, okay, I'm gonna do this music thing. But at that point, I was like, man, I need to start making money again. So I don't know what to do. And then he told us that story. So, like, the next month, you know. So then, anyways, right, he got all, he was, and even that, right, like, I think I told him about the music, and then he even told me to send him some of my music, and he gave me his email, and he replied, and he was like, oh, okay, cool, I'll pass it on to some people. Whether he did or not, I was like, I can't even lie, you know, I got a little choked up, because I was like, dude, here's this guy, you know, millionaire, everything. I have friends that have known people in the music industry at that point, right, in my life, that never even offered to, like, oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll pass it along or something. Like, so here's a complete stranger, you know, super wealthy, this, that, didn't need to even tell me that. Like, you know, he even gave me his email. I messaged him one of my songs, everything. Like, he's like, oh cool, I'll pass it along, you know, to some friends that are in the music industry, and you know, see what happens. And so I, you know, I never got a call back or nothing, but just the fact that he offered to do that, I was like, damn, you know, like, friends didn't even do that. That really had connections with people that would have helped me. And so, yeah. So anyways, so I appreciated meeting him, you know. And then, like, a month later, I'm recording something at the studio, music, and this guy, he needs a favor. He's like, hey, I just need to do a commercial for, he you know, he had a little more success with the music, you know. He wasn't like big known, but he did like not Chicano rap, because I think he didn't even want to be called that, because he did a little more, it was more universal, but he had to do a radio drop. So he was like, hey, can I get in there just real quick, like no more than 30 minutes? I was like, yeah, sure, because I was about to start my studio session. So then when he comes out, I was like, hey, I did him a favor, let me ask him, because I had seen him, he was on Sons of Anarchy. He was doing the acting thing. He was on some movie with, you know, if you guys know who Jenny Rivera is, that passed away, and Gina Rodriguez, who now is famous. Then she wasn't. I think that was her first movie or something. So he was in that movie. He was in Sons of Anarchy. He was in different stuff. So I was like, all right, let me ask him. I was like, hey, how'd you get into the whole acting thing? And he told me where to go, everything, and then so I did it. And then fast forward, it was crazy. I got to work on, this show that was a George Lopez show. I think it only did 3 seasons, that one. But or I don't know how long it did, but I think it was on TV Land or something. But I got to thank him. I was like, hey, and that guy was there too. So it was George Lopez, the other guy that helped me, and some other guy that helped me. All 3 of them are there. I was hired as background, but I even got my own trailer just because there was. So I was like, what? Like, this is a good feeling. I have my own trailer. Just because I was the only background that day, right? So I was background. But, it was crazy. And I came out, and then George Lopez, I got to thank him. I was like, dude, you changed, like, you saved me that day. Like, you shared a story. It was just perfect timing, the things the universe does, right? Where I was about to throw in the towel, thanks to his story and sharing with a complete stranger that he didn't have to do that. And then, so anyways, yeah, I thanked them in person, whatever. I'll put pictures up, or as I'm talking, I'll edit it and put in the pictures of, when I met him at the comedy plays, and when I worked with him on that Lopez show. Then I worked with him on a pilot. Then I worked with him on a movie again. And every time, I'll thank him every time I see him, And sure enough, when I posted pictures of them, people were like, oh, he did this to his wife. Or this. And I'm like, dude, you know what? Like, to me, I know I sure as hell ain't no damn angel, right? But we live and learn, right? We learn more from our mistakes than we do if we don't make mistakes, right? There's some noise, but so anyways, what do you call it? So yeah, I was grateful, man. You never know, like, who's gonna drop into your life to give you that life-changing direction, right? Or confirmation that you're doing the right thing, right? So anyways, that was my experience. And oh yeah, when I told him that, when I ran into him and I told him thank you, and I was like, hey, you gave me that advice, and he was like, and here you are. And I was like, yeah, and here I am. So it was good. It was a good feeling, man. And so I just wanted to share that real quick, so that's why this one's when I'm how meeting George Lopez changed my life, or or meeting George Lopez. I don't know what I'm gonna title it yet, but I just wanted to make this video because it popped in my head to share this story. Maybe it'll help someone that's going through something similar. So I hope I don't know if that was too long or what, but yeah, I don't think I left anything out. I think that's been about it, right? So okay, hope you guys are well. Peace.